Hello, everybody. I thought I would take a break from talking to you about tarot cards, astrology, and bone reading today and share a story with you from my youth. Storytelling is a huge tradition in the South, and I want to continue that today by sharing this story with you. You know, Growing up in the South in the 70s and 80s, it was one thing to have air conditioning, and it was another thing to actually use it. It was always something of a last resort to you wouldn't turn it on until you just couldn't stand it anymore. Otherwise, a lot of the old folks would gather under the shade tree and talk politics, might shell beans or drink sweet tea or Coca-Cola and just, tell stories. So this story I'm going to share with you today goes back to about 25 years. I was in my early 20s. I'll be 45 in September 2018. I was in my early 20s and I had my first job up at the Piggly Wiggly. I was a courtesy clerk, and for you lay people, that's just a bag boy. Um, and I had to go to the back room for something. I was walking down the aisle, and I chose one that didn't have no people on it so I wouldn't have to help nobody. I was walking down the aisle, and as I'm walking down the aisle, I see something out the corner of my eye. And as I got closer and was looking at it, I got to thinking, is that a piece of candy bar some kid spit out, or is that a turd? So I got closer to it and closer to it, and I still couldn't quite figure out what it was, and I bent down and looked at it real hard, and this is what it was right here. Let me get close. That there is a Buckeye. And so eventually I took that Buckeye and I put it in my pocket because I knew what it was once I seen it. I'd seen it many times before as a bagger standing there bagging people's groceries, and eventually as a cashier. A lot of times in the uh, South, you'd see older men reach in their pocket to pull out their change, because old people love paying for stuff with exact change, and they would reach in their palm with that to pick out their change, and they'd have this thing in their palm. And so you'd ask them what that was, and they would tell you it was for drawing money to you. But that's only one reason why folks would carry a Buckeye around in their pocket. There's two other reasons. Number one, of course, like I said, is to draw money to you. So now, one of the best mojo bags there is for drawing money is taking a Buckeye and wrapping a $2 bill around it and putting that in a mojo bag and carrying it with you. And you dress or feed that mojo bag with some type of money drawing oil once a week. Now, the second reason someone would carry a Buckeye in their pocket is kind of like a poor man's Viagra. They say, the old timers will say, it puts lead in your pencil, if you know what I mean. And the third reason someone would carry a Buckeye in their pocket, the old timers say that it wards off rheumatism. So those are the three reasons people would carry a Buckeye with them. Now, it's supposed to be for good luck, and one way that people sort of bond with it, other than carrying it, is you see how this is kind of smooth? You have to oil it. And one of the ways I was taught is you take that Buckeye there and you rub it on your nose and maybe your forehead, and then the natural oils in your skin would get off on that Buckeye, and you'd rub it into that nut and make it all smooth and shiny like that. See? So that there was the first root that came to me in my early 20s, and this is not the same Buckeye I found way back then. That one left me a while ago, but no matter what I'm doing, I've always carried a Buckeye for good luck and money and to put lead in my pencil. So that's the story I'm going to share with you today. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you haven't, and feel free to share it across your social media accounts. Use the comment section and tell me the first root that came to you. And I'll see you guys next time.